Hi, my name's Jake Bossenkemper, Director of Agronomy and Research here at Liqui-Grow.
Hi, I'm Katie Hess, Director of Sales and Marketing here at Liqui-Grow. Jake, we're going into that Memorial Day weekend. You know what that means?
I'm sure you're going to tell us, Katie.
It means boating, it means barbecue, and it means bailing season, right? So everybody will be working this weekend, right?
That's right.
Including yourself.
Including myself.
Yeah. So Jake, before we talk about alfalfa management, that's what we're out here for today. I just want everybody to know the territories that we cover. We've got dairy farmers, we've got beef producers, we've got horse farmers. So we've got a wide variety of intense alfalfa management here. So let's just cover some basics on fertilizer and what you see for removal rates.
Hey, and I think the point that needs to be made there is that, if you're a dairyman, you're serious about alfalfa production. If you're somebody else, maybe you're not quite as serious, but
right.
If you're serious about alfalfa production, the top three things that you should be worried about, in my experience, are potassium, potassium, and potassium.
Sure.
So potassium's important, right? And I say that because it's incredible the amount of potassium that this alfalfa is removing in the above ground leaf area, right? So 3 tons of alfalfa, which would be a good alfalfa crop per cutting. That's going to remove nearly 150 pounds of potassium per acre. Not 0060, but actual potassium.
Now, is that per cutting?
That's per cutting. So,
okay.
So 3 tons per cutting, that would be a good tonnage per cutting. But yes, per 3 ton, you're removing about 150 pounds.
And in relative terms to corn production?
So, in one growing season, a 200 bushel corn crop is going to remove around 60 pounds of potash.
So it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's about 3 times. One cutting's about 3 times more than 200 bushel.
Okay, and so you and I were talking off camera about when we get called out to fields and we see some deficiencies in corn when it's dry, you often think and ask the producer, was this an alfalfa field at one point?
Yeah, Katie, typically you don't see potassium deficiencies in blocks or squares or regular patterns, right? That's typically not what you tend to see. But when I do see that, because you do see it sometimes, the first question I ask is, do you know, was there historical hay production or alfalfa production? And most of the time, after some conversation, maybe looking at all their imagery, the answer is yes. So that is legacy removal of hay from that hay or alfalfa.
Okay, so hopefully everybody
So it's hard to keep up.
That K is very important. What about phosphorus? What about boron, sulfur? Is there any need for that?
So not that phosphorus is unimportant, but you only remove about 30 to 40 pounds of phosphorus per 3 tons of alfalfa. So it's not that it's unimportant, but relative potassium, it's not quite as intense when it comes to phosphorus removal. Sulfur is extremely important. Back to that 3 ton number I've been using. 3 tons of alfalfa removes about 15 pounds of sulfur. I see, commonly I see sulfur deficiencies, particularly early on in the spring, and alfalfa. Boron's also very important for alfalfa. We talk about boron for corn and soybean in some cases, but boron for alfalfa is almost a must.
And if you want to know more, we can talk to you off screen about that. We just don't have the time. We got to get close to that weekend, right?
That's right.
So Jake, let's talk insecticide. Let's talk liquid suspensions. Why does it work nicely together?
Yeah, so suspensions are a really nice option for alfalfa production, for fertilizing alfalfa, because simply you can add the insecticide with the liquid suspension fertilizer. So fewer passes. And as we were talking off camera again, there's some good research out there that shows the fewer passes you can make in an alfalfa field, the greater the yield, right? So those passes can really hurt yield.
Okay, some things that I've had questions on through the years is liquid suspension. Are you going to see a lot of burn by applying that to the field?
Well, you most definitely can, but there's some very particular things you need to do. So what we want to do is, you see the balers right in the background. As soon as they get this field baled, the next call they need to make is to their Liqui-Grow salesman. Because you want to get out here and you want to get that potassium on and that sulfur on, because those are the 2 compounds that are going to do the burning. You want to get that on before you have a chance to get one.
I saw him on the phone, so he must be calling Dave right now.
Right. So if you get it on after it's cut and baled, before you go out there, that's how you do it.
Okay, the other part about that is it too early for the insecticide? Is the bugs, are they out here?
Katie, yeah, I think the bugs are out here. I mean, they didn't go anywhere. They stayed in this field. I think you still want to get the insecticide on here. That's going to lower the population.
It's dry right now, Jake. We have a pretty dry forecast coming up here in the next 5 to 10 days. Is liquid suspension going to work with the dry weather?
Katie, I think that, suspension fertilizers are 100% in solution. They're immediately plant available. It still does take some soil moisture to get that into the crop. But if you contrast that to dry fertilizer, not only do you need some soil moisture, but you need some moisture to kind of get those prills degraded. So I would say that, that might be a little bit oversold, but yes, liquid suspensions are more available immediately than dry fertilizer.
Well, thanks, Jake, for stopping by this hayfield today to give us some tips and recommendations for fertilizer and alfalfa management. We better let you get moving on, and so you can maybe have a little time off over your weekend. And to the folks to you at home, we hope you have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.
Stay in the know with Liqui-Grow.